The first sound he heard was laughter. Not the playful kind, but the sharp laughter that cuts deeper than blades. It echoed through the stone square as rotten food struck his face and slid down his broken scales. Chains dug into his neck and legs, forcing his massive body to kneel. His wings dragged uselessly behind him, torn and burned, unable to lift even an inch from the ground. Hunger twisted inside him like a living thing, gnawing at his strength, his pride, his will to breathe. Once, the sky had trembled when he flew. Now people paid coins to watch him suffer. His name was Velthur, last blood of the ancient dragons, born beneath a burning red moon. He had guarded mountain passes, protected forests, and sworn never to rule over humans, only to watch them grow. But fear is louder than truth. Kings do not sleep well knowing something stronger exists. So they hunted him. They cursed him. And when he finally fell from the sky, bleeding and powerless, they called it justice. The curse burned constantly. A dark magic etched into his bones, draining fire from his chest and strength from his limbs. Each breath felt borrowed. Each day without food brought him closer to death, and the humans made sure he felt every moment of it. Soldiers jabbed him with spears to make him bow lower. Children laughed and mimicked his groans. Merchants spat and called him monster, beast, devil. Velthur stopped roaring days ago. Roars invited pain. Silence was safer not at night. Chained in the mud, he stared at the stars. He remembered flying beside his mother, her wings vast and warm, her voice deep and calm as she taught him the old laws. Dragons were keepers, not conquerors. Protect life. Balance the world. Never strike first. He wondered if she could see him now, if she would even recognize what he had become. On the seventh day, when his vision blurred and his body shook from hunger, he noticed her. She stood at the edge of the crowd, still and quiet. A human girl, thin, cloaked, her brown hair tied back loosely. She did not throw stones. She did not laugh. She watched him with eyes filled with something he had not seen since the curse fell. Pity mixed with respect. Their eyes met. His were dull, ancient, tired beyond words. Hers widened slightly, not in fear, but in pain. She pressed her lips together as if holding back tears. When a soldier kicked Velthur's side to make him kneel lower, she flinched. She returned the next day. And the next thought, always watching, always silent. Velthur did not understand why her presence mattered. Humans had watched him suffer before, but this was different. When she was there, the pain felt, witnessed, as if someone would remember that he existed. The city prepared for a grand celebration. Flags rose. Music filled the air. Festivals demanded entertainment, and suffering was cheap. The soldiers decided the dragon would beg publicly. They tightened the chains and dragged his head up with hooks. Velthur's neck screamed in agony. Blood dripped onto the stone. A soldier raised a torch and pressed it against his wounded wing. The smell of burning flesh filled the square. "Beg!" the soldier shouted. "Show them dragons can crawl." The crowd waited eager. Velthur's body shook. His fire was gone. His strength was gone. Pride followed shortly after hunger. Slowly, painfully, he lowered his head until his forehead touched the ground. The crowd erupted in cheers. It was when the girl stepped forward. Stop. The word was small. It should have been swallowed by noise. Instead, it cut through the square like a blade. Laughter faded. Soldiers turned. The girl's hands trembled, but her voice did not. "You are killing him." A soldier laughed and struck her across the face. She fell hard, blood touching stone. Velthur growled. A broken sound ripped from his chest, chains rattling as he tried to move toward her. The king rose from his balcony, amused. "It is only a beast," he said calmly. Dragons destroyed villages. No, the girl shouted, rising to her knees. You destroyed him. The king's smile vanished. Then you may kneel beside him. They threw her into the mud next to Vaelthur and left them there as night fell. The square emptied. Silence returned, heavy and cold. The girl crawled closer, ignoring the filth, the blood, the fear. She reached out and touched his scale. He did not pull away. I'm sorry, she whispered. I should have helped sooner. Vaelthur's voice came weak and rough. Why help? Because someone once saved me, she said. And because no life deserves this. From her cloak, she pulled a small piece of bread, hard and stale. She broke it in half and pressed it against his mouth. Vaelthur hesitated, then ate. The food burned as it went down, his empty body struggling to accept it. Pain exploded through him as the curse reacted, tightening, punishing him for receiving kindness. He screamed. Guards shouted in the distance, but the girl pressed her forehead against his scale. Hold on, she begged. Please. At dawn, soldiers surrounded them. The king had decided execution would please the crowd more than begging. Spears rose. Arrows aimed. The girl stood, shaking but unbroken, placing herself between the weapons and the dragon. You will die with him, the king said coldly. Vaelthur felt something shift inside him. The curse fed on despair, and for the first time, he felt none, only clarity. He lowered his head and touched the girl's back gently. What little magic he had left flowed into her, not fire, not strength, but truth. She saw his memories, the ancient skies, the oath of dragons, the lie told by kings. She screamed as understanding broke her open. The chains shattered. Vaelthur rose, wounds closing, light spilling between his scales. Wings unfurled, still torn, but healing. His eyes burned, not with rage, but judgment. I begged because you broke me, he said, voice shaking the stones. But I was never worthless. Fire returned, controlled and bright. He did not burn the city. He burned the throne. The king fell into ashes, screaming. When silence returned, the city knelt. Vaelthur lowered his head to the girl. You proved my life was priceless, he said softly. Now let me protect yours. He carried her into the sky as the sun rose. Below them, the world felt smaller, quieter, changed. Hope, once mocked, had learned to fly again.